Good morning, evening, or afternoon, everybody. It's Kaghoe coming at you with another video. So today I wanted to take the time to talk about gatekeeping here in Season of Discovery and, Classic WoW in general, and just how big the gap has gotten and how much sort of expectations the average player has for a game that is generally pretty easy and it doesn't really require these things, but I just wanted to, share my experiences and talk about the situation. But before we get into the video, I have a special announcement to make. I'm going to be doing a Let's Play series for Warcraft 3. I was really, really young when it came out. Originally, I never really played it. I bought it way back in the day just to sort of understand the World of Warcraft universe, like back when MoB came out, but I never got around to playing it. And so I'm going to be playing the original Warcraft 3 and streaming it on Twitch from 2 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, if you want to just stop by. And I'll also be uploading each of those VODs to the YouTube channel every evening, so you guys can check it out there as well. But just wanted to give you guys that quick announcement. But let's get into the video. So without further ado, here we go. So the biggest thing is going to be when we look at gatekeeping. My experiences, I've never really been gatekept because I've always had a guild that I've raided with since Molten Core in Classic. But on my alts and stuff, when I have pugged groups and stuff like that, phase 1 was really easy. I could just make groups for BFD and just go, whether it was a pug group or whatnot, just to make sure I got my lockout, got my characters some gear. And even into phase 2, it was really easy to pug BFD, just taking a ton of people, going in there, blasting it. And now I will acknowledge that phase 1 and early phase 2 had the most people playing the game, so that could attribute to this. But as the game went on, and even once like phase 2 was fully underway, people still went back for BFD for the trinket, the staff. You could see some hard res gatekeeping that way, but that's that's up to you to choose to go to those groups. You see, oh well, I'm not going to get the staff if I go here if I'm a caster, so I'll just make my own group or find a different one that doesn't hard res it. Then we sort of see groups that'll like do +1, +2 runs or SR runs and stuff like that, which I think are fair. It equally distributes the loot. People can go in there and go after the loot that they want the most. Where the gatekeeping really becomes a problem, in my opinion, is when you have like extensive gear checks. You expect people to be exactly full prebis. You expect people to have absolutely every buff possible in the game, and you expect them to have logs of parses of 95s or higher, which I think is just absurd. Me being sort of a semi-hardcore player, I've never really tried too hard to parse, because I know that it's really group dependent and raid dependent. You need to have the most meta group, and you need to go as fast as possible. As well as in Classic, parsing is kind of cringe to a degree because it requires you to have a ton of people catering to you, whether you're getting innervate as a mage, for example. You need innervates from druids, you need PIs from priests, and you just need another mage to sort of build up Scorch here in Sunken Temple right now for you. So it's just a whole bunch of things that are just really, really silly, and I don't think it reflects actual rating, in my opinion. Because you're like doing a whole bunch of external factors on top of all the consumes and buffs you have. I don't mind it being a matter of enchants, consumes, buffs, because everyone can go out and get those. That's not a restriction. What the restriction for parsing in Classic is what your group has and the group you're riding with and what they give you. And so people gatekeeping and saying you need like 80s, 90s, 100s, you don't need that. If I were making a group, what my restrictions would be, it would be like maybe a 50 parse and coming with world buffs and consumes. Like, that's all I would require you to do. From a semi-hardcore, I just like to make sure people are there to raid. And if it's the tier below, I literally just say looking for people for this MS over OS. I don't even do loot rules, anything like that. And I think that, I fill my groups pretty quick. We get in there and we kill the bosses. I say, if you have any questions, ask me, and I'll tell you what you need to do for this fight. DBM does a great job of doing that, so you can be aware. And yeah, I've had some pugs that take a while. They take like over an hour for BFD, and that sucks when I've been doing 30-minute clears. But it's an alt pug run. It's just there for people to enjoy the game, get gear, do the raid. It's not some min-maxy sweaty thing. And I understand the time argument, sure, but the time it takes to assemble that group from trade chat is time you could be in there pulling the boss and getting it done. So the difference is, it's clear cut to me. I'd rather just get in there and start playing the game than look for tons of people. And I think we're gonna have a big problem here in MC, and we can already see it in Phase 3 with the jump to 20-man. Pugging BFD and even Nomergon in Phases 1 and 2 was so much easier than it is to pug Sunken Temple, and that's even without restrictions. Like, just because of the 20-man raid requirement, that has, made it so much more difficult to do it. Now, I do understand, people want to value their time. No one likes to waste their time. No one likes to wipe to stupid people making stupid mistakes. But at the end of the day, you can, if you know so much and you're so gifted, you can teach them how to do it. You can say, hey, look, this is what you need. People can only be so prepared, especially when it's their first time at the raid. And I know that there's a lot of elitist gatekeeping that goes on here, and I think it's really bad for the game. What happened to just going out there, playing the game, enjoying it, having fun? It's not a competition. No one is really going to care about your parses after the phase is over. No one's going to look back. No one's going to know who you are because, you parsed high. Like, I honestly do not know pretty much anyone in my guild's parse. The only people I know are the people who care about it and say, I got 99s in this, blah, 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 blah. I've only cared to get 99s in all the fights because my guild likes to do parsing and goes really hard at it. But to me personally, I don't think it really matters. I don't really try to parse. I was top 100 as for mages and sod in week 1 and 2, and I think week 3 I might have still been there, but my guild just sort of stopped raiding, so I've probably fallen down a bit. But Sunken Temple is where I really tried. I didn't really try in BFD or Nomer because I didn't really see them as raids. They were like level of dungeons to me. Go in there, get your gear, do stuff, and have fun with the boys. That's what I looked at it as. So I didn't really try to parse there because, like I said, for mage parsing, you have to have PI, you have to have Innervate, you have to have someone sitting there and scorching or winter chilling the bosses. You have to have someone use the proper curses. And there's just so much stuff here in Classic that you can do to parse. It's just not fun to me. I don't enjoy that because it's so many external things that might be out of your control, and you also have to make people play a way that they might not. Who am I to say, hey, Boomkin, give me your Innervate because I want to parse, when they need to use it on themselves to parse. So it's just such a weird situation, and how people gauge it that hard for their gatekeeping. It's just kind of ridiculous. But anyway, these are just my thoughts, my opinions on gatekeeping. I would love to hear what you guys think. Obviously, feel free to disagree with me, but if you do so, do it respectfully. Talk about it in the comments below. I do read every single one of those, and I do my best to try and engage with you because I do care about the game. I just worry that gatekeeping is going to get so out of hand, the requirements are going to be so high, and it's just going to discourage a ton of people from playing the game, and then you're only going to be left with a ton of elitist gatekeepers that only want to play with a few people, and then the game dies. Casual players carry the game. Casual players make up the majority of the population, not the elitist gatekeeping sweaties. So I just want to make sure that everyone is aware of that. But anyway, I truly hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, anything, let me know in the comments below. And until next time, I'll see you later. Have a great day. Bye-bye. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. It truly means a lot to me. If you happen to find anyone that you know would also benefit from watching this video, please share it with them. It helps me out a ton and allows me to keep doing what I love every single day, and that is gaming and sort of helping people any way that I can. So finally, thank you so much, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Goodbye.